Hello! Mabuhay! This is Teacher Lourdes, and this is your course, Environmental Science. Our lesson 3 is Feedback Loops. These are our objectives. Explain the meaning of feedback loops in environmental science. Describe several natural processes where feedback loops occur in nature. Create a short video to discuss learning after the lesson. According to Dame Jane Goodall, a zoologist, primatologist, and anthropologist, feedback loops are critical in environmental science as they influence system stability and can lead to significant changes in ecological balance, highlighting the intricate connections between natural processes and human activities. Let's have our lesson proper. The sensitivity of Earth's climate system is determined mostly by feedback loops or mechanisms. Feedbacks occur within the system that can either dampen or amplify the response to external factors affecting the climate. In other words, the effect of an initial process causes changes in a second process, which then influences that initial one. Negative feedbacks decrease the direct effects of the original process, and positive feedbacks increase it. When thinking about the concentrations of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and their direct effects on Earth's climate, it is absolutely necessary to consider what their indirect effects might be as well. As you can see in this diagram, positive feedback speeds up warming. Human activities such as burning fossil fuel in power plants, factories, and fuel for vehicles contributes to addition of greenhouse gases, which increases the temperature of the atmosphere. Negative feedback, on the other hand, are natural processes which slows down global warming. One example is the ocean's natural ability to absorb and dissolve carbon dioxide. As mentioned, positive feedback loops will accelerate a response, making the climate much warmer or colder. An important example is the water vapor feedback loop. Although water vapor is a greenhouse gas, it has very little effect on the external factors controlling the climate unless pushed from within. If the atmosphere starts to warm, the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere will increase. This will then slowly increase the greenhouse effect, reducing the amount of heat able to escape from Earth. The atmosphere warms further, enabling more water vapor to be held in the atmosphere, and so on in an accelerating positive feedback loop. Another positive feedback includes the greenhouse gas methane. Methane is a gas trapped in frozen peat bogs, permafrost, and as water ice under sediment on the sea floor. It also comes from decaying matter. If the atmospheric temperature and ocean temperature increases, the peat bogs and hydrates will thaw and release the methane. This will cause greater warming and release of more methane. The accelerating effects of positive feedback loops can be addressed to irreversible tipping points, which are changes to the climate that are not steady and predictable. Basically, tipping points are small changes within the climate system that can change a fairly stable system to a very different state. Similar to a wine glass tipping over, wine is spilled from the glass as the tipping event occurs, and standing up the glass will not put the wine back. The state of a full wine glass becomes a new state of an empty glass. Identifying what phenomena are capable of passing tipping points can be tricky. Tipping elements is used to describe large scale components of the Earth system that may be subject to tipping points. As you can see in the illustration, the Arctic sea ice provides a large white surface reflecting solar radiation away from the Earth, which is also called albedo. As sea ice melts, it exposes the much darker ocean surface, which absorbs radiation rather than reflects it. In turn, it amplifies warming. Large Arctic sea ice loss in the summer may reach a critical, irreversible threshold. This diagram shows that as the temperature rises, the Arctic sea ice melts, and as the reflective ice disappears, darker ocean water absorbs more heat, which will also cause rising of temperature, creating a positive feedback loop.
The sheet of ice that covers Greenland contains enough frozen water to raise oceans by 25 feet across the globe. As the planet warms, glaciers melt, causing sea levels to rise. But not all of that melt happens at the surface. In the summertime, rivers and pools of meltwater find their way down through the glacier to the bed below. From there, the water runs beneath the glacier until it reaches the ocean. Because meltwater contains no salt, it weighs less than ocean water and rises up the front of the glacier in what scientists call a plume. Around Greenland, oceans are cold and fresh near the surface and warm and salty at depth. As the plume rises, it draws in the warm, salty water, melting the glacier face from the bottom up. Eventually, a piece of the glacier breaks off, making an iceberg in a process known as calving. As the oceans warm, calving speeds up, causing glaciers to retreat and flow faster. Faster glaciers dump more ice into the oceans and drive sea levels higher across the globe. The sheet of ice that covers Greenland contains enough frozen water to raise oceans by 25 feet across the globe. As the planet warms,
Iceland ice sheets produce a similar albedo effect as sea ice. They are much thicker than sea ice, though, and can be up to several miles thick and penetrating into the colder, higher altitude atmosphere. Ice sheets thin as they melt as their edges and their albedo is reduced. The Greenland ice sheet is thinning, and as it thins, its surface lowers, subjecting it to warmer temperatures at lower altitudes. In West Antarctica, the ice sheet is largely resting on rock below sea level. Ocean water is able to melt floating ice but also undercut ice sheets, forcing more ice to float and therefore melt. Paleo records have shown that both Greenland and the West Antarctic ice sheets have melted and collapsed in the past, suggesting they are probably vulnerable to tipping points. The Atlantic Deep Water Formation, cold deep water is produced in the North Atlantic as part of the Thermohaline ocean circulation to maintain the ocean conveyor belt which transports warm ocean water towards Great Britain. Heavy salty water must sink in the north. However, when ice sheets in the north melt, they release fresh water into the Atlantic. An input of fresh water makes the ocean less salty and less heavy, reducing the amount of deep water produced and slowing down the ocean conveyor belt. As ice sheets are susceptible to rapid melt, It means deep water formation and ocean circulation are probably vulnerable to a critical tipping point as well. Water vapor in the atmosphere will eventually condense and form clouds. Clouds can add to the greenhouse effect by trapping heat in the atmosphere, or they can reduce the warming by reflecting solar energy back to space. Depending where the clouds form, they can either warm or cool the atmosphere, complicating things even more. High level clouds tend to keep heat in, therefore increasing the warming. If the clouds form at low altitudes, they have a cooling effect, offsetting some of the warming. Often, a system can be self regulating as negative feedbacks reduce processes enough to create stability within the system. This is called a negative feedback loop. There are few of these negative feedbacks within the climate system. One is the solubility pump of the ocean. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere can be regulated by the oceans as it dissolves in water. Currently, about 33% of carbon dioxide emitted to the atmosphere is absorbed by the oceans. But this regulating process has a limit. Absorption can take centuries, and the efficiency is dependent on ocean circulation. Feedback loops such as these are complex on their own and even more complex when part of an integrated global climate system. Some are already at work, while others have not kicked in yet. Others, both positive and negative, may be discovered in the future. But one thing that scientists have learned is that a little atmospheric temperature rise can unlock vicious feedback loops that speed up global warming. Some of these feedbacks are already taking effect. Others may be triggered by continued warming. If global temperatures continue to rise, some of these feedbacks could spiral beyond our ability to reverse the warming. It's very alarming too. So, we must do something in order to at least lessen our consume of fossil fuels and let us have tree planting activities to have reforestation to at least lessen the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. These are my sources. Special thanks to canva.com. For our student activity, feedback loops play a crucial role in ecosystems. You will create a 2-minute video of yourself explaining the concepts as you have understood from this lesson. ChatGPT explanations are not allowed. You have 3 days to submit your output to our Google Classroom. Thank you for listening. Mabuhay!